sigh of relief?
Well, I mean, I'm used to it now. They're all this way, I guess. Never going to be an easy one, I don't think.
You came in here yesterday not happy with your pitching staff and really wanting more efficiency out of them. They took it on the chin for a lot this weekend. Today they gave up 3 runs and that was it. How impressed were you with every single arm that came in for you today?
I think they did a really good job, and we guys settled down. Leto did a good job of starting us off. Gave up a few runs, wasn't as sharp as he wanted to be, I don't think, but battled and got us through, I think, 4 or close to 4, 3 and 2/3. Gibby, can't say enough about the job he did. He's Mr. Steady that comes in there and calms the waters and puts up zeros for a few innings and hopefully gives our offense a chance to get back on track, which is kind of what happened. And then Carlone bounced back from a tough outing the other day. It looked like the Carlone we've seen all fall and spring, so that was nice to see. And then Coger threw the ball well. I don't know, those walked a couple guys, which uncharacteristic, but his ball was coming out pretty hot, so I was happy to see that.
I know you talked about Cole being a starter potentially, but man, what kind of depth does that provide the bullpen when he's able to come in and probably could have gone even longer than he did today, rattle off 2-3 innings, no problem?
Yeah, that's it's a dilemma that we'll talk about, on whether or not we want to keep that back end of the bullpen, with some firepower with Carlone and Lucas Kelly and Coger. I mean, it's start feeling pretty good when you got those 3 in the back end. As long as we can get some length out of some of these other guys to start games, then we'll be in good shape.
On the bats, there's a lot of low 90s fastballs early on from their starter, not getting to it as much as Ed Jackson. Felt this team again known for hitting the fastball. What was the switch to finally get it going in the 5th?
Well, the guy started tapering off a little bit. He wasn't anything that he wasn't fooling us. And he was coming at us with heaters that had a little bit of ride to it, and he was blowing it by us. And to me, that's we got to do a better job making an adjustment. And he was a little bit more velo than we were expecting. His scouting report and the video that we saw on him were 88 to 92. But he was coming out pumping 4s and a couple 5s in there that with some good life up in the zone. And he was basically just saying, hit it if you can. And we weren't touching it. We were underneath, and we were not making the adjustment to it. We were either punching out or popping up, and good offensive teams, realize that earlier and not let it linger on 4 or 5 innings. We were trying to, we need to make a better adjustment, get it on top of the baseball more or swinging above the ball a little bit to get on top of his fastball, because it had some pretty good life, and he wasn't throwing a lot of off-speed stuff. He was just blowing it by us. So, and then the inning we scored, they kind of self-induced wounds, I think, walked a few guys, hit a few guys, and Compton got the only big hit that we had all day. And then the Appleby kid, man, that was dirty. I mean, he had some good stuff. So, tough day for the offense, but we squeaked it out.
Speaking of adjustments, and Isaiah Jackson specifically, the newfound swing, going the opposite way, keeping the hands through, how much do you think that showed the work that he put on this offseason?
I still think he's there's a lot more in the tank. He's hopefully the things will start paying off for him. Hopefully that gets him going a little bit. He's had a really nice fall and spring, and there's a lot more in there. So if we can get him to his potential, and swing looks better all in all, top to bottom. We just once he gets locked in, it'll go pretty good, I think, for him.
Brandon Compton, he has 9 RBIs in his last 3 games. What is a hot streak like that? How does that reflect onto the rest of the team?
I mean, that's why he's in our 3-hole. I mean, he's pretty good. Somebody's got to come up with big hits, and right now he's been doing it pretty much daily. And Crom had a tough day today, but he's been coming up with some big hits. And we're not quite firing on all cylinders yet. Some guys aren't really. You look at the numbers; they aren't gaudy. I mean, we're just coming up with big hits at the right time. So, Contradas hasn't really got, although he's had some good at bats, he hasn't really gotten the results yet. Toby is not where he wants to be. Vu, same way. Some of those guys, they'll get going. I'm confident they'll get going, but we're still got a ways to go. Kyle Walker, I look down at the numbers, and that's numbers don't always tell the whole story. He continues to put together really solid at bats and seems to come up with, it sounds so small, but he comes up with a big walk every now and again where it's just like he's putting together a good at bat to extend an inning or start an inning. Like I said, last weekend he had probably the at bat of the weekend off the lefty from Ohio State, and he just has a knack for coming up with the big at bat when we need it, whether it's a walk or a base hit or whatever. So his numbers are a lot. He's playing bigger than his numbers are right now. So, but these guys will get it going. I'm confident.
Talking about having good at-bats, Brody Briggs, again, a good day at the plate going 1 for 3. Did you have him tabbed at the beginning of the year as one of those guys that was going to step up and really take care of the offense at the catcher position?
Brody's, you just got a sneaking suspicion. He's a tough kid, and he's going to show up and compete when the lights come on. It's not always going to be pretty. He's not going to have the most that fluid, sweet left-handed swing, but the kid's going to go up there and fight and get you a good at bat and give you an honest day's work and that type of thing. And to be honest with you, and I don't mean to embarrass him, I don't think he got a hit this whole spring, in inter squads. I really don't. Maybe 1 or 2, but it's just like I think when the lights come on, that kid's he's gonna show up. He's gonna go the other way, where some guys do really well in inter squads, and when the lights come on, it's different ball game. But I think he's one of those guys that just shows up when the lights come on and knows how to compete. He's that type of mentality, that type of kid. So am I surprised? Not really. I think he's just, he's starting to get his opportunity.
Record-breaking weekend for attendance for you guys, over 10,000 fans through the whole opening weekend. What have you noticed about the support for the program this season and just the energy overall in the ballpark?
It's been great, and glad you brought that up. Big thank you to the fans for coming out this weekend. Even today was a nice crowd, for being at Monday afternoon, and it's helpful, not only for our guys to get a little energy, but just the fan support. It's great to play in front of fans, and we'll do our best to play a good brand of baseball for them and entertain them while they're here. I think we've seen four exciting games, at the end of the day, where there hasn't been a blowout. They've all been not the prettiest games in the world, but they've all come down to, last pitch or two, and they've been exciting games. So we'll continue to, hopefully we can win by a little bit bigger margin than that so I can relax a little bit, but it's been great to have the fan support. They're awesome.
You mentioned the lights coming on yesterday, and you're talking about the bullpen, and when the lights come on, we'll see who they are. Say they went 5 innings, didn't allow a run, only allowed 2 hits. Where does your confidence level stand with those guys after a back-and-forth weekend? They're great. We're finding out, like I said, who can do it and who can't. And I think when a lot of those guys that we brought back today are the guys that threw Friday and had decent success on Friday. I think the only guy that had a hiccup really was Carlone. I think his first outing, but he bounced back. He's been in those situations before, so I was confident he was going to bounce back and throw the ball better, and he did. Jonah's just been, like I said, steady Eddie. He's the guy you depend on to calm the waters, and did a great job doing that. And then Koger closed the game out on Friday and came back today. So those guys got a lot of confidence in. We're trying to find a few more. If we can get our good solid 12 or 13 guys ironed out that we can go to work with every weekend and start figuring out the roles for them, then we'll be in business.
We were just saying before you came in, it's not too often you guys play on a Monday and tack one of these onto a weekend series. What went into the decision to bring in a team of this quality, one of the best mid-majors in the country, and add that onto an already grueling opening weekend with Ohio State?
Yeah, it's such a... You don't know what you're chasing. You're trying to chase RPI or trying to chase wins or trying to chase who knows what at the end of the day. This is a team that won, I think, close to 40 games, if I'm not mistaken, last year, and was top 5 in the country in batting average. We knew that's a team that if we can come up with a win, that they're going to go out and they're going to win 35, 40 games, and hopefully that's an RPI builder if that's what they're looking for. But we knew that they were going to be tough. They were very well coached. they got guys that can swing the bats, and they had a lot better arms than we were anticipating today that they threw at us. But going into this, yeah, I mean, they were in town for a tournament, and it was just we couldn't find that extra game on Tuesday. Nobody was here or wanted to come in town for one day, so we had to bump it up to be a Monday. And they were willing to stay and play one more before flying back, and it just kind of worked out. So appreciative that they came in town and stuck around one more day to play us, because they were looking for a midweek too. And on their flip side, if they were to beat us, that's, I think, a pretty big resume builder for them long run. So it was a good matchup for both of us.
What do you hope the college baseball world saw from your team this weekend and as a first impression of the 2025 Arizona State Sun Devils?
Oh, doesn't matter to me. It matters what those guys in there do, and what we understand we got to get better. And the record's great. We got 4 wins. Great. It's much easier to coach when you got 4 wins coming off 4 W's than 4 losses. So, but at the end of the day, we're not where we need to be. We got to get better. There's things we got to improve upon, and we know that. And like I said, happy about the 4-0 start, but not satisfied. We got ways to get better. And college baseball, whatever they think of us, hey, respectfully, we don't care yet. Later in the year, we'll start worrying about that.
If not college baseball, is there anything you hope the fans that came in this weekend learn about your team?
I hope the fans saw that we're going to play hard, and I've said this from day one. We're not always going to be pretty. We're not always going to be, professional grade, A1 professional grade, but our kids are going to play hard. And they're going to give you an honest day's work. They're going to play scrappy baseball. They're not going to give in. They'll be resilient, and I think we saw that this weekend. I think we were behind at some point or another in all 4 games this weekend, sometimes multiple times where we take the lead, give it back, re-go. So they battle, they scrap, they fight a little bit, which is fun. And it's meaningful baseball here in Tempe right now, and we're February 17th, 18th today, 17th. Come on, hockey. February 17th today, and we're 75 degrees and sunny, and we're playing baseball. People are in t-shirts and shorts, and we're playing a good brand of baseball that's fun to watch. And this is spring training with a lot more intensity. So please keep coming out to the ballpark, supporting these guys. They're playing hard, and it's a lot of fun.
Coach, when I'm talking about playing hard too, when you're saying obviously the pitching today when they came in, kind of picked the offense up, maybe a little bit sputtering. When you get a win like that and it's complimentary, what do you feel it does for the overall just confidence of the clubhouse?
I think you have to take it that there's not going to be the same hero every night. It's not going to be the offense every night. There's going to be days or nights that our offense sputters like today. And I say only put up 5 runs, but for us, we have better expectations than that, where the pitching staff's going to have to pick us up. And again, against a team that historically swings the bats pretty dang well, and we held them to 3 runs. That was, and no multiple run innings, just kind of a couple singles across the board. That's impressive. So I was glad that our pitching staff was able to step up today and get it done for us. And but at the end of the day, we're all a team. So one day the pitching's got to pick the offense up, and some days the flip flop. So, but we all know we got to, as a whole, get better on both sides of the ball.
I'm curious what your shirt represents.
I took my pull over. That's a team thing.
We're through just the first weekend of baseball. What have you made so far of, I guess, kind of the team chemistry in season, and how confident are you and your guys being able to step up and just be a team?
I'm not worried about them being a team. I mean, they're pretty tight-knit group in there. So that part of it is never an issue, hasn't been an issue. It's been, all 4 of my years here, I feel like these guys in the clubhouse are great kids. We don't recruit turds. We recruit good kids, and every once in a while we swing and miss, but not very often. We try to do our homework and bring in kids that are academically oriented, and good citizens and good kids that want to work hard and get better. And when you have a full gamut of those guys, full locker room of it, it's for the most part they're going to be pretty tight in there, and they're all like-minded kids. They get along pretty well. So as far as the team chemistry in there, they're a pretty tight-knit group.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.